The outcast. Jacob Carter had never been the kind of kid to cause trouble. At 16, he was tall for his age, with sun-kissed skin from working on his family's farm in rural Kansas. His hands were calloused from early mornings spent fixing fences and feeding cattle before school. But none of that mattered to Principal Lawrence at Rockridge High School. Jacob was just a farmer's son, and in Lawrence's eyes, that meant he didn't belong among the sons and daughters of wealthy businessmen, politicians, and land developers who attended Rockridge. So when Jacob got into an argument with Tyler Grayson, the son of a real estate tycoon, he never stood a chance. Tyler had been taunting Jacob, calling him a dirt boy, and saying his father would soon buy out the Carter farm. Jacob clenched his fists but held back. He wasn't going to stoop to Tyler's level. But when Tyler shoved him in the hallway, Jacob instinctively pushed back. That was all it took. Tyler exaggerated the fall, clutching his arm as if Jacob had broken it. Within an hour, Principal Lawrence called Jacob into his office and handed down his decision. "You're expelled," Lawrence said coldly. Jacob's heart sank. "But I didn't start it." "Check the cameras." "There are no cameras in that hallway," Lawrence smirked. "Tyler's father has already made a call. You're done here." And just like that, Jacob Carter, the hard-working son of a farmer, was thrown out of Rockridge High. A billionaire's arrival. The next morning, Jacob was out in the fields helping his father mend a broken fence when he heard it, a distant rumbling that grew louder. He shielded his eyes against the sun and looked up. A helicopter. A sleek, black helicopter with gold trim. It wasn't just flying past, it was landing. Jacob wiped the sweat from his brow and exchanged a look with his father. "Who on earth?" The chopper touched down in an open field near their barn, kicking up dust and hay. As the rotors slowed, the door swung open, and a sharply dressed man stepped out. He wore a navy suit, polished shoes, and sunglasses that probably cost more than their entire farm's monthly earnings. Jacob barely had time to process what was happening before another man stepped out, a towering figure with silver hair and an air of authority. Jacob recognized him instantly. Elijah Westwood. One of the richest men in America. Tech mogul. Investor. And, oddly enough, an old friend of Jacob's late grandfather. "Mr. Carter," Westwood greeted, shaking Jacob's father's hand. Then he turned to Jacob. "I heard about what happened at that school of yours." Jacob shifted uncomfortably. "It's not a big deal. I'll figure something out." Westwood smirked. "Oh, I know you will. But I don't like injustice." He adjusted his cufflinks. "Come with me." Jacob hesitated but followed Westwood back to the helicopter. His father nodded in encouragement. Whatever was happening, it was big. The billionaire's deal. When they landed back at Rockridge High, the students and faculty were already staring in awe. A billionaire's helicopter was not an everyday sight in their small town. Principal Lawrence rushed out of the building, flustered. Mr. Westwood. What brings you here?" Westwood took off his sunglasses and looked the principal dead in the eye. "I came to fix a mistake." Lawrence swallowed. "I'm not sure what you mean." "I mean," Westwood interrupted, "you expelled a good kid because the son of a spoiled businessman cried to daddy." Tyler Grayson, who had been watching from the steps, turned pale. Lawrence straightened his tie. "Mr. Westwood, this is a private institution. We follow strict disciplinary guidelines." Westwood raised an eyebrow. "Oh. Then I assume you won't mind if I buy this school and review those guidelines myself." Silence. Lawrence's face turned red. The crowd of students gasped. Westwood turned to Jacob. "How'd you like to come back, on a full scholarship?" Jacob blinked. "Wait, what?" Westwood smiled. "I don't like bullies, son. I also don't like corrupt institutions. So I'm buying Rockridge High and making sure it's run by people who care about fairness. Lawrence stammered, but he knew he had lost. Within minutes, the news spread like wildfire. A billionaire was buying Rockridge High because a farmer's son had been wronged. A week later, Jacob walked back into Rockridge High, head held high. Tyler Grayson kept his distance. Principal Lawrence was reassigned. And Elijah Westwood? He had donated millions to the school, making sure kids like Jacob, kids who worked hard and played fair, had a real shot at success. Sometimes, justice arrived in the most unexpected ways. And sometimes, it arrived in a billionaire's helicopter.